So it looks like the decade's ending. For me, it's been a wild ride, to say the very least. Since I'm still young, the 2010s have been my first full decade in which I've lived to see and remember every year from beginning to end. It's the decade in which I became an adult. It's the decade my childish desires either turned into mature pursuits or faded away entirely. I've felt more love, loss, victory, defeat, indulgence, disgust. I went through a lot this decade. It's my first full one, so wow. There's a lot that happened. Hopefully this video conveyed that well enough. These aren't just things I experienced, but things the world around me experienced. There was a lot more I could have put into this video, but I thought it'd be better to just use words as a better reflection of the past 10 years. Not just my words, but the words of others as well. Currently Bored says, "This decade has been an absolute disaster, but there's always next decade, right?" Zeste de Citron says, "Growing up in this decade has really influenced my personality and perspective on the issues we are facing in the next few decades. Like the oversaturation of politics from the past few years has caused me to not care so much about having a political identity. And understanding the impacts of global warming and human society in general, seeing all that coming to light this past decade helped inspire me to do better when I get older. It was cool seeing a change in the way information is received, how it is taken, and how people react to it, but it also highlights the flaws in our growing society." Dragzar says, "It feels like the internet has gotten a lot more normie, especially on a place like 4chan. Nativitatis Gray says, "It's been rough, basically a test of resilience. Right before the end of 2019, however, I was lucky to see my labors bear good fruit. I'm stronger, got a better job, and things are looking up." The following is an audio recording from Black Aussie Bot.
The 2010s. What a decade. Easily one of the greatest decades to have appeared on this hellhole that we call the Earth. One cannot help but pity those who died before experiencing it. It was that great of a decade. No, seriously. I mean, what other decade could boast on being the creators of memes? Exactly. I can go onto my social media feed and expect my daily dose of funny memes from my favorite memers like that black guy and support his hard work by buying his merchandise. Truly a privilege that is exclusive to the 2010s. One of the many gifts that this decade contains. The great part for those not born yet is the fact that the world will be nostalgic for it, like how they are currently with the fucking 80s, despite it being, well, pretty fucking shitty. We'll be screaming deets nuts and doing our favourite Fortnite dances together. I, for one, cannot wait for the nostalgia to come about. But for now, this decade is coming to a close and all its contents is now going to be ancient history, and I am eternally grateful on experiencing it.
Without going into too much detail about my personal life, I feel like practically every experience in this decade has been shaping me into the person I am today, as well as the person I soon will be tomorrow. I've already talked about myself a lot now, so let's talk about us. This decade is going to be our decade, and not just because we're going to just sit around and wait for something good to happen to us. We're going to make something happen. You're going to do your absolute best at something. Even if you don't actually achieve it, your earnest attempt will count for something. And it won't just be one thing. We've got 10 whole years worth of time to achieve things, so there are thousands of things we're going to have the chance to try our hardest at. I think in order to prevent this next decade from going to waste, we're going to have to stand up and give the world our best. And that's really all I have to say. Peace.